for this?
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Oh yeah, we're back. Thanksgiving weekend, folks. November 21st, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
Brett Price.
Yeah, and guys, I'm glad to be back in the saddle again.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, thank you for, doing a great job last week.
Winged it.
Yeah. Hey, well, listen, man. I mean, we're all professionals around here. Yes, we are. At least that's what we claim to be. Great show tonight, packed full of sports. We're going to do it from top to bottom. That means college, pro, football. We're going to also talk about high school, recent high school playoff pictures, congratulate a couple of teams, and also a huge milestone in 8-man football broken over the weekend. And we're going to also look at some upcoming possible college coaching changes. Yes, there are a few dead men walking out there. At least one probably knows it, and a few others that just may not have gotten the memo yet. And then we'll be able to wrap it up with the now legendary Dirty Dozen. And according to Brett, we've got a Dirty Baker's Dozen tonight.
Hopefully we'll do better this week.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm involved in a lot of self-deprecating humor. I haven't really been that good, but I think that last weekend was really a doozy. But so let's start. Okay.
Turn your mic on is what he's telling me.
Oh.
Turn your mic off.
He's always messing around.
I tell you.
So much for professionalism, I guess.
Thank you very much. That was
That's my man.
Our engineer, cameraman, and owner of the studio, folks. So he may be part Jamaican, but he's wearing a lot of hats. Tonight. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
We appreciate
Thanks,
it. Here at WWBD TV, WWDBTV.com.
And now we know what that signal is. That's the turn your mic on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
That big,
Yeah, it was a big
throw
mic.
something.
I thought he had maracas.
And he came in and turned it off.
Oh, boy.
Wow,
See, no one wants to hear what I have to say.
Actually, you could have left it off till we talked about the Michigan and Ohio State.
yeah, it is rivalry week.
Yes.
Not just in the Big Ten, but here in this studio.
Yep.
And more on that later. But first, let's recap college and pro games over the weekend. Another wild and woolly college, which already muddies up what was already a muddled up playoff picture. We saw for some bizarre reason, a reinvigorated Houston team.
Yeah, they look good.
Came out of nowhere and really
They looked really good.
Really made Louisville look bad, and who they could ill afford.
Right.
A loss of that magnitude. I think people could realize that the close loss against Clemson, that's a tough one. And then of course, Clemson. Well, a week ago, kind of laid an egg.
Yep.
Came back, but people weren't really impressed with the way they won.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's again, the people from the other conferences, the SEC, the Big Ten,
Yeah.
Big 12.
Well, they went up big in that game. They were up 28-0. I mean, just
Houston.
No, I was talking about Clemson.
Oh, Clemson. Yeah.
Just completely dominating, and then they kind of just let
Off the gas.
and just kind of slowed it up and made it more of an interesting game. Actually, it made me sweat because I actually was laying 13.5 in the first half. And we have 28-0. It was easy, and then all of a sudden they scored a couple touchdowns, and now they're in a position to drive down and actually cover that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't, so I was thankful.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's always a
You
good
guys
thing.
see some other games that were really surprising too.
I was very upset with Michigan State. The way that he went for two, I thought it was a little bit too early to do that. With 4 minutes to go, and the defense was actually playing pretty well. I really thought that they should have kicked the extra point, and then just tied the game at 17, and then just played it out and saw what.
I think I was most surprised was they threw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, they had been running it like crazy, and with L.J. Scott, and threw the ball, and then it wasn't even close.
No.
He was he was a good 3.5 yards away from that his intended receiver, and Ohio State just intercepted it and kind of played field position, and like it was miserable conditions in the Midwest this week too, with the wind and the rain and the snow. Oh, Michigan was a blizzard.
It was literally
you
a blizzard.
could not see.
It looked like winter football.
Yeah,
It was great.
it was
And
crazy.
There was a kind of an unusual game that for some reason got in yesterday, which was the CFL Eastern Finals.
Right.
And it was a blizzard. And but the stands were packed.
Yeah.
Well,
they're used to it there.
They don't care. Ottawa was like, we'll just have this.
Short sleeve weather.
But they delayed the half because they had to go back out and try and
Shovel it all off.
clear off the lines
Yeah,
at least. So
because it
that-
was accumulating so
yeah.
fast.
And they were just literally running up and down the field. Nothing
crazy.
slowed them down. They were throwing the ball. And again, I was just kind of curious as to why they would schedule those in on a Sunday.
I don't.
I don't think it's big enough yet to compete with the NFL. So I don't think they're even trying.
It doesn't even.
They're not even.
They're not even trying to.
considering it.
Yeah.
So it's just hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yep, they're
We
doing
know
their
that
own.
everyone north of the border is
They're
gonna
going
be
by their
watching
own
this,
horn,
so
tooting their own horn.
Yep.
More power to them.
So,
There was a sort of a makeup game.
Yes.
I think that everyone considering that Del Rio's son was out for Florida, they also had some injuries on the defense, and they had to go to Baton Rouge.
yeah.
That LSU ended up losing that game.
Yep.
Well, I mean, their touchdown was a extremely long play. Other than that, they pretty much shut them down. I think it was a 90-something yard.
Florida, 98-yard
Yeah.
touchdown. Yep.
But other than that, I mean, they pretty much shut them down. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised that LSU could get no offense.
They couldn't run. I mean, the front seven for Florida just dominated that game.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, they lost a couple linebackers, I guess, and they were all freshmen playing linebackers, true freshmen playing linebacker, and they had that goal line stand, and shut them out.
What did you think about the play?
If Leonard Fournette is healthy, I'm running him. Well, but the thing is too is like,
but they have two good running backs.
Yeah.
Why do you give it to your fullback?
no, it wasn't the other
it was
running
the
back.
fullback.
No, he tried to jump, and someone grabbed his legs and it just stopped him cold.
Yeah.
He didn't,
that happens.
because he'd have probably if he could have cleared the line, he'd have got in.
Yeah.
But someone yanked his leg and he just dropped like a rock,
Yeah.
and came up short.
Well, that was actually one of my picks this week, and I'm one of those guys that if you don't cover, I want you to lose. So
Yeah,
I was actually happy.
vindictive guy.
It's at the hell with. Yeah.
Hey, you cover or you lose.
That's
I don't
right.
give a crap.
That's
Well,
right.
there were huge ramifications for that.
Oh, yeah.
Had
That was huge.
LSU beaten Florida and Tennessee beaten, which they did do, I believe. Tennessee beat Missouri.
Yeah, being
That's a
bad.
good game.
Yeah,
Tennessee
being bad.
still would have a shot at the SEC East.
Right, because I think they play Vanderbilt this week
Yeah.
in a rivalry game. So yeah, I mean, Florida's going to go play in the.
Now they got to go to College Station.
Yeah.
So what's that spread going to be about? 25?
Which one? Oh, in the SEC championship game. Oh yeah, it'll be high.
Minus 24.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing around there.
It'll be up in there. They just can't. I mean, Florida can't score. The defense is nice, but that's about it.
And of course, Vanderbilt really manhandled Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I
They-
mean,
they're coming around. I mean, they're
so it's not necessarily a gimme as far as
the
Tennessee is
biggest thing. One of the biggest spread odd things that happened this weekend was the Texas Tech Iowa State game.
Yeah.
Texas Tech was favored 6 going into Ames, Iowa, to play Iowa State. Final score 66-10, Iowa State. Holy moly! And it wasn't even.
If I told you,
It was
Brett.
28-0 like that.
Brett, Iowa State's going to score 66, would you like the over and for how much?
Oh heck yeah! If they're
The game went under.
they're crazy. It was under.
But if I told if you look at it, the one team that really is not supposed to score 66.
No.
You figure Texas Tech
Yeah.
is going to score 66.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
that was a weird one. And then the other, the big marquee game of the week was Oklahoma and West Virginia. And Oklahoma's playing pretty good right now.
They're playing very good
Yeah,
football right now.
and that was in
That
some
was
bad
actually one
weather
of my
too.
plays,
And
I was
And
real happy with
yeah,
That
and
game
it was
got away from West Virginia
Yeah.
very quickly as
they
well.
they had it down to like 21. It was like 42-27 or something like that, and West Virginia had the ball. I'm like, man, they can get this in. It kind of shakes things up a little bit. Next thing you know, boom, there goes Oklahoma putting it away. Ends up winning by 28.
They're going to be tough for somebody.
Yeah, they're in a bowl game. Yeah, they're going to be.
They're playing well.
It should be a good game in a couple weeks. I think them and Oklahoma State both have the week off, and then they have Bedlam, championship weekend. Basically, it's their championship game.
Yeah.
But it's a regular season game, so
Should be a good game.
yeah,
Shout out to Western Michigan,
yeah,
11-0 now.
yeah. The game day was there this weekend.
Bum rushing Buffalo.
Yeah, they got a big game this week too.
Yeah.
They got Toledo this week. That'll be a good game.
Yeah, and that's tomorrow, right?
Uh,
Well, I know.
I think
there's
it's Friday.
know
I think
there's
it's Friday.
games tomorrow.
yeah, there's some. I think there's 2 or 3 MAC games tomorrow, and
We'll
I think they play Friday.
Yeah, you're right. Playing
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yeah, and of course Friday, big, which has now a lot of marbles on the table, a lot of cards on the table, and that's the Apple Bowl between Washington and Washington State.
The Apple Cup. Yeah,
Yeah.
Washington
interesting.
-6 in that game.
-6. Yeah, at Washington State.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. It's kind of that was another interesting. Colorado kind of handled
Yep.
Washington State this weekend, and sitting at 9-2. Colorado hadn't won. I can't remember. Like they won 10 games in the last 8-9 years in the Pac-12, or since they've joined the Pac-12 or something like that. And they got 9 wins this year. And McIntyre's probably going to be the coach of the year in the
Well,
country.
I think he deserves
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Nobody had Colorado on the radar.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm sure everybody had him either pick last or next to last. So
17-yard touchdown pass to Derek Carr to Jalen Richard 7-3 Oakland.
7-3, yeah. There it
Keep
goes.
that game close.
and you had to battle LA this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
it was a battle for a half.
Yeah, I mean UCLA jumped out quick. I'm like,
Jumped
okay.
out very quick and then kind of blew their wad,
Yeah,
so to speak.
it is kind of SC's playing really good down there. I wouldn't want to play
I have
them
to
either.
give credit where credit's due. SC is probably the
I agree
surprise
with
of the
that.
Pac-12.
Yeah, and they got Notre Dame this weekend.
Yeah, and
Poor Notre Dame.
They're going to wax Notre Dame.
Yeah,
One end.
I think it's around 17. right
It
now.
was always
I
the
was
one
gonna say
time I actually
14.
root
Let me
for
see
SC
what we
is
got.
when they play Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Just,
That always used to be
Just
like
me.
a big game, all the time. Notre Dame.
But
Sometimes they bust out them orange jerseys, others green jerseys and stuff. Sometimes when they play SC.
Just to try and do something.
Yeah. Would be fun. What would be a fun bowl? Oklahoma SC. That'd be a heck of a
Yeah,
game.
I like that.
That'd be a heck
I
of a
think
game.
That would be a great game.
Yeah.
And that's part of the as far as like college coaches are concerned. We've got actually that topic coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of these games, a lot of these teams that that is going to be a huge factor. Whether the coaches know it or not, it is going to be a factor. Pro games recap. Any surprises over the weekend?
Trying to think here.
That late field goal by Detroit covered the spread.
Oh yeah, they snuck that in there. Yeah. Hanging
It's
around.
funny when you see teams. Oakland for second and goal on the 1 yard line.
Must
About to
have been a
punch it in
turnover,
again.
huh?
Dallas played very well.
They're pretty good.
And when you're talking about two rookie players in your backfield, both of them playing very well.
Here's a question for you. Who wins Rookie of the Year?
That's a tough one.
Then they probably
give
battle
one
for
of them
MVP.
You give them one of them the offensive, and then you give the other one the Rookie of the Year, offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
That's how you got to do it.
I mean,
Or offensive Rookie of the Year.
And is it? And again, does anybody really believe that it's just a matter of time before the guy sitting up in the owner's box descends on this and creates chaos where it shouldn't be?
I
don't think so.
I think he's going to stick to it. And
Yeah.
and there have been rumors that Romo is looking to be traded.
he's got a big contract though.
Yeah.
Somebody take
He'll
on.
have to modify that contract, but
big
they were already
contract.
talking about possible landing points,
Yep.
and one of which is Denver.
Yes.
Because
Went
it
to
really makes
I just don't see that. I don't see Denver. I can't see Denver. They drafted Paxton Lynch last year, and I just can't see
Well, they
them.
rolled the dice on a guy who had had major surgery on his neck.
I just don't see it.
What's his
I don't
name?
see it.
Quarterback,
He is going.
Peyton something or other. Yeah.
Well,
you got a
the thing is, they got a Super Bowl defense in Denver, and that won them the Super Bowl last year. Peyton Manning did not
And
win
a
them the Super Bowl.
quarterback that cannot take them to the promised land.
No.
Simeon cannot do it.
I don't think Tony Romo. How good is Tony Romo in the playoffs?
He's not. He's a
Not
winner.
good.
He's a winner.
That's a straight
Overall,
question.
he's a winner.
That's a straight question though. How good is he in the playoffs? What's his track record?
Well, he would absolutely get to the playoffs with Denver.
He does it.
I
He does it with
think,
Dallas.
Well, but from the wrong, from the wrong position.
He's 38 years old and brittle.
You got to.
I'm not spending $8 million on that guy.
You have to redo the contract. You absolutely have to redo the contract, and you have to understand that there's no way in the world this guy's going to play.
And he's only going to go to a
16 games
contender.
year.
Yeah.
He's not going to go to a Cleveland. He's not going to go to a Houston or anything like that.
Well, I hope he doesn't go to Cleveland because they could.
They can't
potentially
protect the
win
quarterback
game.
anyways.
Okay,
He's already brittle.
Somebody's counting on.
So we're looking at.
Do you already have the champagne chili?
Well, I don't see how any games they can win.
No, I don't either. The only one I can think is maybe Cincinnati. That's the only one.
It's they have a tough. It's a very uphill climb.
No,
to win a game.
I'm saying no, but I just said Cincinnati's the only one they have a chance.
I'm actually going to be rooting for him because I don't want someone to tie Detroit's record. I want them to stand alone with that record. But you asked about games that we were surprised. I was actually very surprised that Tampa Bay went into Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
And I mean, Kansas City's a tough place to play.
Very tough.
Tampa Bay just kind of put it together and held on. Their defense really held on.
Yeah, it just depends on which Tampa Bay team is going to show up.
Yep.
1 week, Jameis Winston looks like, he's finally he's arrived and he's putting up gaudy numbers. And then the next, they can hardly get out of their own way.
Yeah, that's what you. I guess that's what you get with a 22-year-old.
A win is a win. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right because look at Mariota. How he played against Green Bay, and then I had him picked, of course, naturally, to go into Indianapolis and continue that, and then Colts jump out 21-0. But hang on to win. I will say that.
I would be curious to see how many teams have this year. Right now, probably we're 10 games in.
10 games, yeah.
Who has more than a 3-game winning streak of the how many teams? 30
Besides
teams.
Dallas.
How many
Dallas,
teams have a 3-game
Seattle.
have had a 3-game winning streak of the 30 teams?
Yeah,
It's almost zigzag teams.
Yeah.
Well, they look good this week. I'm going against them
Detroit,
this week.
if they win this week, will be on a 3-game winning streak.
See, there's probably not
Against
too many.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
So you almost use a zigzag theory on teams. Okay, they look good here. I'm going to go against them next week.
It's easy to do it with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because Pittsburgh
Oh, yeah.
play like garbage one
Yeah.
week and then next week crush everybody.
Yeah.
The other game that shocked me, which was not really shocked me, the way Miami came back. Miami was a game that I picked, and it was dead. I was dead in the water, 10-0. 5
And they weren't
minutes to go
doing
in the
anything.
game. And I told Brett earlier, we were talking on the phone. I looked up the end game, and it was plus 1,400 on the money line, and they actually were driving. And I was thinking that might be worth $50. I mean. If they score a touchdown here, they're gonna get the ball back because there's 4 minutes to go.
Was Miami.
Was Miami, yeah.
And giving away 1.5, I think.
Well, the
Yeah.
game
I got it
ended
at
up
1.
going at a pick 'em, so
Yeah.
I ended up getting it at a pick. But it was crazy. I mean, if I would have put it on, that would have been like $700 off the 50.
Yeah.
So that would have been nice. But
Yeah.
we were just talking last week, Bill. You weren't here when about the dollar parlay that would have hit last week, and it was like
In the college
$550.
ones with you to pick Pitt,
Oh, yeah?
Iowa, and what was the other one? that beat?
Whoever Washington played.
Yeah,
Pitt on
USC.
sequence.
SC.
Yeah, a dollar bet on money lines of those would have won $564.
$544.
Yeah, or something like that.
But
Crazy.
of course, I didn't pull the trigger. Hey, goal line stand by Houston held Oakland to a field goal, 10-3.
10-3.
Uh-oh.
10-3. 10-3.
I have a
Davian
money.
Clowney showing out.
I have a money line and then a plus 6.5. So I'm trying to middle that,
There you go.
win some money today.
That could happen. Definitely could happen.
All right.
Definitely could
Well,
happen.
And now, since we started with college, let's go into now. How do you think the playoff picture for the NCAA is going to shake out now?
I mean,
do the gurus who are responsible for this nonsense has it been made easier for them, or is it just even more difficult than it was?
I think
before
it's
the
still
weekend started?
murky. I really do.
Murky as hell.
I mean, the first 4 all won this week. 2 of them didn't look impressive, but they still won. I don't think the 4 teams will change. I think
settle the issue
I
with
think they'll
Louisville.
Louisville's thanks for playing. So it'll get interesting. They're going to let Ohio State, Michigan settle that their part of it this week.
Okay.
But either way that goes down it's gonna force another big game in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's going to be another big game in the Big Ten
Oh,
that
yeah.
could knock that other team out. I mean, so even if Michigan wins or Ohio State, either one of them win, they're going to have to play another big game in order to stay in
See,
there.
if Ohio State wins, they won't have. And if Penn State wins, Penn State goes to the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State doesn't play another game till maybe the playoff.
Right.
But if Michigan wins,
don't be shocked.
Michigan
Don't be
wins.
shocked.
If Michigan wins, they go to the Big Ten championship game, and they'll
Yep.
probably play Wisconsin, rematch. But if they lose to Wisconsin, then there's
Wisconsin's right
it's
there.
a crazy. That'd even be
Yes,
crazier.
That's what I'm saying. That's what keeps
They'd probably take Wisconsin because they are the Big Ten champions.
right.
Now, and it's crazy. I like it really.
Being a Michigan fan, I kind of see that happening. I kind of see somehow Michigan not making it there. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it's just like being a fan. You're just used to that.
Yeah.
Aren't you both really excited the fact that the Big Ten is now becoming one
Well,
of the power?
Yeah, we said that in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did get rid of
Yeah,
that.
well, but it didn't always look like that.
Yeah.
No,
And
Well, I thought it was going to be tough. I didn't think it was going to be as tough.
I
as
didn't think it'd be
was.
this tough
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about some of the premier teams.
I mean, what was it in the AP this week? The Big Ten
They have to have 5
first
or
time
6.
in they had 4 teams in the top 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, how really tough does a number one Alabama look, considering the conference is not what it was? Let's say.
I've thought about that too. They're really good.
Who did they?
They're
play?
really good. I think defensively they're really good. Offensively, I think they're good.
I mean, they have like 7 NFL players on their.
Yeah, their
on
defense
offense.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think with a true freshman quarterback, I don't think he's really got. The LSU kind of tested him. I think you got to give him. You got to make him win games.
Well, who did they play? What school of the blind did they play last week?
Yeah, they played Chattanooga, Tennessee, Chattanooga.
That's the one thing about Alabama.
That's
that always
basically a
bugs me.
bye week.
They
They always do that, and it's always towards the
Yeah.
end of the year.
The
they have
SEC
that
does
one.
all that.
Notorious
Yeah.
for that.
All the
SEC
SEC
does,
did last week. That
because
was like the
Florida was scheduled to play
Presbyterian or something like that, yeah.
and LSU, South Alabama.
yeah or something.
And those two teams actually ended up having to play each other
yeah,
because
What happened in that game?
I don't even
I
know.
didn't know, but I think it was probably two coaches that suddenly their payday was like.
Yeah, well, they probably still got paid. I'm sure they still
They
got
already
paid.
spent that money.
Yeah, I'm sure they still got paid.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was actually one of the consequences of the LSU Florida.
I mean, even in the playoff, what's going to happen to the Pac-12? Let's say Washington wins out and they're sitting at 11-1, but nobody. You got you got Wisconsin, right there. Way better resume.
Yeah.
than
if
Washington.
They come back. Let's say if
And
they
they're
go
a Big
ahead
Ten
and win,
champion.
and they come
Yeah.
come back and they actually beat SC round 2, then their
Well,
resume. looks
they
better.
might have to play Colorado. If Colorado beats Utah, Colorado's in the championship game.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
week.
Utah, all they had to do was win this week.
Yeah, and they got beat by Oregon
Yeah.
last second at home.
I like
So,
Made
So,
a mediocre
yeah.
Oregon team look very
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, made a last second touchdown in the corner, and
that. Well, I'm going to call this right now. Michigan State is going to give Penn State some fits.
they will. I think so too.
I think they're not going to roll over in that
Hey,
game.
look, after last week's game against Ohio State,
Yeah.
I think these guys, especially seniors, you're playing for pride.
Yeah.
This is you don't want to just hand it away. And the fact that they almost beat Ohio State, almost.
The thing is, with Michigan State, what they need to do is they need to run the ball.
Yeah.
That kid's a stud, and their line played really good. Take the game out of O'Connor's hands. Let their defense play. Put all the pressure in the fourth quarter on Penn State, and see what happens.
I agree.
Does anybody get Rutgers?
I think Rutgers and Maryland play this week.
Wow.
I think Rutgers and Cleveland should play.
Yeah. Well, they'd probably get beat.
Okay.
Probably get beat.
Needless to say, the specter of new coaches filling some positions that
Yeah.
aren't necessarily open officially.
No.
But I think that we can all agree, there's going to be a vacancy. And let's start with Texas, since Charlie Strong is dead man walking.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course he had that press conference today.
Yeah.
Where
It's just not official.
He's at gunpoint. Get out there and tell the people what they
Yeah.
want to hear. Well, I haven't heard I was fired.
Actually, I think everyone knows except him.
Well, they came out with, we intend to reevaluate, Coach Strong at the end of the year.
Well, they said that a month ago that they weren't going to do anything till the season was over.
Well, he's got to, if he wins one game, then
He'll
he's
be bowl eligible.
So
They got TCU this week at home.
that's a winnable.
They could.
Well,
They,
we thought
I mean-
Kansas was winnable.
Kansas. They lost to
Was it
Kansas.
first time in was it 1920 something?
1938 was the last time they beat
1938.
Texas.
And
That's
It was their
shameful.
first FBS win since 2014.
and Kansas, God bless them. I mean, the Jayhawk has been, it's been basketball U.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
literally
yeah.
the last 20. I don't want to say 20 years, but it's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Yeah.
And of course when you have Slick Charlie coming through there and collecting another series of checks while still cashing them from Notre Dame, they were really making some bad choices. And of course I think now they're still actually paying this rascal. The
Yeah.
Notre Dame's checks have stopped, but now the Kansas checks.
He's the worst
So,
coach.
Charlie, if you need a few bucks, man, if you want to know how to stretch those dollars, I can help you with a budget. Now, possible replacements, and I have said this before, old Chip up in San Francisco is now 1-9, and it's been a long time since the 49ers were 1-9.
1 in Niners.
One in Niners.
And Randy, I'm so sorry, man, because I know that you are hating life. And I'm going to see you on Thanksgiving, so don't do anything crazy. Steve and Vina, show up, and you will get through this.
You're better than the Browns.
Yeah. But I think that let's face it, he has said I'm not going anywhere, but he didn't conclude that unless I'm asked to.
Right.
You've got to believe that Chip is done with the NFL. I think he should be done with the
It's a
NFL.
fail. It's a fail.
Yep.
Texas, of course, is a huge landing point for any coach. Now, Texas did not get, from what I understand, Charlie Strong was not the second, third, or eighth choice at Texas. There were a lot of people.
Their boosters did not want Charlie Strong.
Yeah.
And
The money people.
So he's, and he's done. Possible replacements.
Not too far away, I don't think. Right down the road in Houston. Tom Herman.
Especially since now Houston is.
Yeah, Tom Herman,
they-
rejuvenated his name through the conversations with that
over
win.
Louisville.
Yeah, with that
it
win.
wasn't close.
No, it was a smoke job.
Speaking of Houston, Lamar Miller 34-yard touchdown.
10-10?
10-10.
Cousin Lamar. He's at it again.
I don't. Then LSU's going to open up now.
Yeah, so that was
Ogeron
another one
going
because
to be He's not going to have it at all.
the
There's no
word
way.
before the weekend, in fact, on that day, and it was with the guy that does a lot of the SEC, Feinbaum.
Feinbaum, yeah.
And he had said that the way Ogeron has played, they had those guys playing since he took over. But it was just like Groundhog Day all over again because he's been in the same position with USC.
Yeah.
And they were really kind of looking at that, because they were expected to beat Florida.
Yeah.
They were favored by
Yep.
2 touchdowns.
Well,
if I'm
they
not
fought so
mistaken.
hard to get that game there, and no, we're not giving up a home game, blah blah blah, and then they end up losing that game too. So
And plus, we got to pay these guys from
Yeah.
South Alabama.
Yeah.
You Bob.
I heard that LSU's going full out for Jimbo Fisher.
They think they're going to be able to snag him out of the ACC and sell him on the SEC.
Yep.
You're never, as long as you're with Florida State, it's always going to be the ACC, no matter how you slice it.
Exactly. So I heard they're going guns blazing after him, and I've heard he's interested. He's just not really saying it. I think he's an alum from there.
Is
I
he
believe.
Yep, I
I
think
believe
so.
he is.
Yep.
So that makes it even more
That's
attractive.
Huge. That's
Yeah.
always huge. Because then
So-
you can say, this is my dream job.
And he was on the staff there with Saban. He was offensive coordinator, I believe.
So he knows where to live. and
Yeah,
everything.
he knows all about
Where to
LSU
shop.
and stuff like that. So, and they got the money to go get him.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in these schools,
Yeah.
these alumni. Ed Ogeron. So now he has to go, of course, into Texas A&M. So the plot set was, hey, he needs to beat Florida as expected, and then go into College Station
And win that game.
and win that game,
And
then he's got an argument.
and then they were thinking that they might get to go to the Sugar Bowl then,
Yeah.
but wah wah, that did not happen.
So we've got LSU
Yep,
opening,
yep,
Texas opening,
yep.
and I'm going to throw this one out there: UCLA probably an opening.
I don't know.
Possibly.
The other one I was thinking is Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's.
Do you think they may
Could,
could?
yeah,
Yeah.
they could.
Yeah, because this
Why
was a
wouldn't
team
they?
that was expected to.
Especially if they lose by 50 against USC.
I mean, they're going to
if
lose
they get
again.
run up, they're going to get.
They're going to lose again.
Yeah, they're gonna
They're
definitely
2-4
lose.
at home in front of all the alums, and
You can lose on the road. Just,
yeah, they're 2-4 at home,
But you
and
need
they
to-
blew another big lead this week.
You need to
Yeah.
beat the service academies.
Mm-hmm.
Got to beat the service academy, and you need to beat SC.
Yep.
Those are games.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, it used to be they have to beat Michigan, but
Right.
they bailed out of that.
Right.
matchup.
Right.
and of course Michigan State. Get a number on them.
Definitely. Yeah.
At South
Michigan.
Bend.
Yeah. At South Bend again.
Yeah. of course.
Just another name that I don't. You guys probably heard. Got a job. He was at Miami and then he was in North Carolina. Butch Davis is taking over the FIU job.
Right.
He got in that, so that's getting him. I think
So he's
a-
looking around. He
Yeah.
might be looking around.
Yeah, so he's got in there, and the other one, not a big name, but I think Cincinnati. I think Tuberville's. I think he's on the way out.
He's out.
Yeah.
I think,
Especially after that blowout loss
yeah,
last
they
week.
just
So possible replacements.
young young coordinators that are,
I think Texas is probably going to stay in Texas.
yeah.
Yeah. Houston.
Yeah,
you
with
don't
Herman
have
and
relocation
and the
costs.
thing is that his offensive coordinator is Major Applewhite. I think he could be up for one of those jobs.
How old is he? I mean, isn't he like
He's probably early 30s
30s?
maybe.
Yeah. Do you
The other, the other hot name is PJ Fleck of Western Michigan. Somebody's probably gonna draw him in. Could be Purdue. Les Miles is dangling around out there, too.
Yeah, that's right. I
So-
completely forgot about Les.
I can see if Texas lets Strong go, which we probably is, he could land on his feet somewhere. At a smaller school maybe.
Kiffin, do you think anybody would roll the dice on
Yeah,
the way?
it's about time.
You know what? I can honestly see this guy landing UCLA and really wanting to get back at SC with everything he's got.
He could.
Maybe go back to Tennessee.
They've got that
I'm just kidding.
waste disposal site named after him.
The other one, I think,
What a great spot.
the other coach that I think might be just a slippery ground, not in like quicksand or anything like that, is Kevin Summerlin. They're folding to get tents again in late in the year, like they've done every year. Starting out nice and good, and then now they've lost like 3 out of 4, I think now, and they played Texas San Antonio last week and won 23-10, at home.
Yeah, it's not exactly.
So I can't see on a really solid ground, but
So looking at the spread, Texas is actually laying 2.5 to TCU. The favorite.
interesting. Well, TCU kind of laid an egg this week against
big time.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, what's the spread on the LSU Texas A&M?
LSU is a small favorite, I believe, 5 points.
5.
So if A&M goes in, plays strong at
Mhm.
home, you think that job is safe?
Yeah, probably for another year. But if they lose, I can see them pull
So
the
next
trigger.
year he's on a week to week check.
Yeah, I can see them pulling the trigger on him.
All right. Okay. Let's We want to just go right through?
Yeah, we might as well just roll through.
All right. Another big weekend in Nevada Prep, Southern Nevada
Yes.
Prep. So let's talk about, and congratulations to the 8-man division.
Yeah.
Upset.
Huge upset.
Huge upset.
Spring Mountain, and it's
Pranigat Valley.
Pranigat Valley on a 104-game streak. They were really the favorites of that game.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that started to engrave the name on the trophy, and they were upset 68-46 by Spring Mountain. So congratulations to Spring Mountain.
Yep.
It's good to see those kids winning too, because that's a very small community of kids and
Clear up in the mountain. Been up that way.
Yeah.
Been up there. It's pretty neat up there, really. I mean, it's kids that looking for second chances,
Right.
things like that. So
They have been in trouble.
have been in trouble and up, clear up in in the mountains, Mount Charleston, and
Yep.
going to school up there, trying to get their life straightened out. They got
And get away from the distractions.
just get away from everything. You try to sneak out of there, you're gonna freeze.
gonna take a while.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, and you're gonna freeze because it's cold up
Take
there
a
right now.
hike.
But they have their football field is so neat, just tucked in the mountain up there.
Yep.
It's really cool, and it's good for those kids to win that state championship and end that streak against.
You
Brandon
never.
Valley.
I was actually surprised and like pleasantly surprised. I mean, to see these guys go in there and you guys know him. Bill knows that I've been involved with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I've been done prison ministry. I've done all that other stuff and
Amen.
to go in there and see these guys that have really been given up on by their families,
Mm-hmm.
been given up on by their friends, by everybody else, and the staff up there really pours into these guys and gives them opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and to bring football there and say, hey man, we're going to start playing football, and then all of a sudden they win
Yeah,
the championship.
Yeah.
That's exciting stuff. I love
that's
it.
awesome. That's awesome.
That streak was the longest in the United States.
Oh yeah,
So congratulations to Pranigat Valley.
definitely.
Oh
yeah,
4
I mean,
games. That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
And 8-man football, if you've never seen it, is literally like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a smaller field. It's a compressed
Like
field.
Tecmo Bowl.
And there is, it's a compressed field, but it's still 8-man, so there's still space out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you know of an 8-man high school in your area, next year you get a chance. Check it out.
Definitely.
It really is a lot.
it's
of fun.
interesting.
But congratulations to Spring Mountain.
Yep, absolutely.
Another state title to settle, Desert Pines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've
Took it to
actually
'em.
had some players from Desert Pines
Yep.
who are now playing college ball.
Yep.
And just congratulations to that program, which has really turned around over the last few years. They won over, Spring Creek.
Yeah,
And it was not even close.
No, it was a blowout. Really,
39 to
39-6. Yeah.
So congratulations to Desert Pines. That game was actually at Bishop Gorman.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a
Yep.
one afternoon game at Gorman.
And they had lost last year, right?
Yes.
CP lost last year.
They actually
Yeah.
had a lead and squandered it. And
Yeah.
that was one of the things that they mentioned, that a lot of the parents were kind of biting their nails and nervous. They built a lead. They were just wanted to make sure that they actually
They learned from it.
Yeah.
They
Their
learned
only,
from
their
it.
only loss this year was to Liberty.
To Liberty, yeah, early in the year.
really tough team.
Yeah.
With Liberty rushed,
Yeah.
was it 58-14 or something?
Oh yeah.
So they're on their way to the
Yeah, the state semifinals this
Semifinals.
weekend.
that was
Up, they
over
got
Basic
they're
High.
they're going up to.
Poor Basic. I mean, I think they knew that they were kind of going to.
Well, that was
had
actually
a chance.
that was actually the finals last year. Liberty
They were there,
played
but they
Basic.
actually had a chance. But this was like from start to finish.
Oh yeah.
It was all Liberty.
Well, Liberty is just foot on the
They're
gas.
rolling right now.
Yeah,
Rolling.
They're really playing well.
Yeah.
It's going to make for a very interesting
Final
championship game.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
they should go up to where they play Ranch something this week.
Domenico Ranch.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. So they got to go up north and play, and they should win that game, and then they'll play the winner of Bishop Gorman and Arborview.
Yeah.
Which will be a good game.
Yes,
It'll be
it
a
should be a
very
good game. Because
Bishop-
Arborview gave
Bishop
Liberty.
Gorman's last loss
Was it?
with Arborview. Yep.
They're on. Gorman's got to be on 50.
50 plus, yeah, 52,
50 some
I
game
think.
win streak.
And
But Arborview gave Liberty a really good game. The first game of the year this year was I think it was like 28-23 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Very close game.
And almost Groundhog Day all over again for Legacy. Arborview knocks off Legacy.
Yeah.
And there was actually an announcement that Arborview defensive lineman Greg Rogers commits to UCLA.
Yep.
Well done, Greg. Good choice, buddy. Good choice.
Don't know who your coach might be, though.
May have a new coach, but don't just let that go. You'll love the neighborhood.
Well,
Definitely.
there is a player on DP that's committed to USC also.
Did I
Speed.
Well,
Well, I got to bring it up. Speedy Morris.
Just burst that
He's
bubble.
actually a cousin of
also committed. Yeah, I haven't even brought up as
a cousin of DJ Hatcher, which is a Trojan player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was some pictures of them on the field together. You
He's
got a
taller than DJ, I hope.
Oh, he's definitely taller than DJ.
Okay, 'cause
DJ
that's not hard.
DJ is about 5'6", maybe.
And absolutely one of the fiercest DBs.
This guy will ball up on you in a second. I mean, plays in the secondary, and he's just a lockdown corner.
Wow.
Very great, just a great player.
Yeah, and just a young man who will go match up with anybody, does not care.
And he plays where again?
The Trojans.
Vegas Trojans.
Okay.
The
along
champions,
with- by
the-
the way,
Okay.
congratulations to Bobby Light and the entire Vegas Trojan organization
Absolutely.
for knocking off. Guess who?
The Blackhawks.
The Inglewood Blackhawks.
That's always good.
For their championship this season. Congratulations. I mean, well done. Way to represent Las
Wait, what
Vegas.
happened to the Coyotes?
Yeah. For some reason,
I'm just kidding, but
yeah, I don't know.
Listen-
David, write us and tell us what happened. We'll absolutely have you on the show.
we'll definitely have you on.
Yeah.
Just another side note on the high school. Gorman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody just assumes they're going to win. They're 2 wins away from winning their 3rd straight national championship.
Yes.
That's
That's amazing.
pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
And pretty much ran the table
Yeah.
this year, playing.
They- they-
Their first 5 games were against top 25 teams.
Mhm. They don't shy away. I respect that. Respect
Listen,
that.
And they don't seem to be slowing down. But again, if everything, the cards fall into place, that's going to be an amazing game.
Oh
Mhm.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we expect Liberty to take care of what they need to up north,
Yep.
and that's going to be another that. I mean, that.
We just hope that they move this thing down to Sam Boyd.
That would be great.
That's where it's scheduled. The championship game is scheduled at Sam Boyd High School. I did.
Is that
Yes.
it?
Sam Boyd Stadium
Sam Boyd High. More or less. Sam Boyd Stadium. It is
on
scheduled.
December 3rd.
December 3rd,
There are
yeah.
actually high schools that are nicer than Sam Boyd.
Well, the one that they play at is.
Yeah.
And expect.
I hope so.
Expect Sanchez
That'd be
to be
awesome.
out there, with his notebook and
Yeah.
recruiting and pressing.
Well, I mean, he brought most of those kids in.
Yeah, he knows them all pretty much.
So and so there's some great things coming still ahead for Nevada high school playoffs. And for Coach Ice and Terry Tarver and the
Yes.
guys over at Legacy. Listen, congratulations on another great year.
Definitely
And,
great season.
Keep that team together as much as you can. I don't think they had a lot of seniors on that team at all. When I went to see them in the spring, they really didn't have. I mean, so I think that next year they could have a really solid team.
Nice.
But for some reason, Arborview is their bugaboo. They've lost them, I think, 3 times in the last 2 years.
Oh,
First
wow.
round of the playoffs, or second round of the playoffs. So.
That's like a rivalry too.
Yeah,
Right?
too.
Yeah.
They're very close. They
Yeah,
can
they're
see the
not far.
lights from each other's stadiums.
One's a bull, one's a longhorn or something.
Yeah.
The mascots. Okay.
That's it. So finally, I think we're ready now for this week. Instead of the Dirty Dozen, it is the Dirty Baker's Dozen. And now the rules are: we do not know until Brett comes in. These are head-to-head in terms of picks, no spreads, no over or under, just pick and pray. Because based on last week,
Because we didn't do very good last
Yeah,
week.
we need to share the
Yeah.
sorry,
Henderson Hawks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now we'll bring that up. We'll go after the.
Okay. We'll do the Dirty Baker's Dozen. We're gonna start off with a rivalry in Florida. Florida at Florida State.
Florida State.
Jeff goes with Florida State.
Florida State. Lightning is not going to strike.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the home team. Got to go in Tallahassee. Here we go. Charlie Strong Bowl. TCU at Texas.
Based on how they both played last week,
Yeah.
I'll say TCU
Somebody's gonna have to win. I was gonna say somebody's gonna have to win.
because they both played horrible, and I think TCU played less horrible.
Yeah, TCU. And
I'm going
Charlie
with Texas.
Just dust off that resume, but
I'm going with Texas.
there's a gambler in the house.
The other thing I heard the underclassmen were going to think about boycotting the game. I'm like, and so if they don't show up, I need to change my answer.
Wait, Texas?
Yeah. And the seniors were like already
Boycotting the
talking to him, saying, "No, you can't do that. You can't." Yeah.
Don't you just pull their scholarship at that point?
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
I would just pack their stuff right there.
Go into class and you say, I didn't hear my name. That's because you're no longer
You
enrolled.
gone.
Exactly. Why are my bags outside?
Yeah. All right, we're going to the next two or to the Big Ten. Nebraska at Iowa.
Oof, that's going to be a good game.
Oh, man.
You know what? Iowa's offense is dismal. I'm going to take Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Although if Iowa's defense played like they did against Michigan, then they could probably beat anybody in the Big Ten.
Well, before you guys,
I'm
you
changing
guys
mine, I
picked
was just
so
kidding.
fast. Nebraska is going to be playing a wide receiver at quarterback. Tommy Armstrong isn't supposed to play. The other kid broke a bone in his wrist that played this week, and they're moving a kid that they moved from quarterback to wide receiver to quarterback this week that I heard. So I'm taking Iowa.
I'm gonna stick with Nebraska because that guy probably is seeing his opportunity.
Yeah.
He's gonna take a full by the horns on
Brooke
that one.
Bollinger.
There you go. Exactly.
Next game, Minnesota at Wisconsin.
I love the Badgers. I think the Badgers can give anyone a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Minnesota's a pretty good team, but
Little rivalry, the Axe game.
Yeah,
Paul
I
Bunyan's
think
Axe.
Wisconsin at home, Jeepers.
Yeah, Wisconsin at home as well. MAC game of the week, Toledo at Western Michigan.
We were talking about that before the show started.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna ride.
Gonna ride them out.
Yep, the Broncos, and just
You're gonna row with them, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna hope that they finish undefeated.
I'd like to see them in that New Year's whatever,
Them and
6.
Grand Valley State are undefeated this year. Grand Valley State did, by the way, pass Michigan as the winningest team in the country.
Oh, did they?
They did.
Oh, wow. That's
Unbelievably.
crazy. 2 Michigan teams. What do you say there, Bill?
I'm going to go with Toledo.
Ooh. I think Toledo will cover, but I'm going Western Michigan. I think the line's like 9.5.
Yeah, it's a
I
little.
think it's going to be within a touchdown. Next game, another MAC game. Directional school, Central Michigan versus at Eastern Michigan.
I'm going to start this one off. I'm going to go with Central Michigan.
CMU.
I'm gonna take Central also because of what they did last week.
I'm going with Eastern at home.
Ooh.
Eastern Michigan at home.
The Hurons.
The ex-Hurons, yes. Next game, Boise State at Air Force.
I'll take Boise. I don't think that they'll cover that because they never cover, but that 9.5 is gonna be too much.
I'm going to go with Boise.
I'm going with Boise as well. The defense for Air Force is just so iffy,
Yeah.
So I think they can score, but I just don't think they can score enough. The Cannon, UNR
UNLV,
at
baby.
UNLV.
UNLV.
Yeah,
What
you
the
know,
hell?
if this 3 weeks ago, I would have said UNR.
Yep.
I'm going
But I'm going
UNR.
to go with UNLV.
I'm going UNR. I think they're playing pretty good right now.
That's horrible.
It's all about wins. It's all about wins.
That's right.
Washington at Washington State for the Apple Cup.
Have to go with the Huskies.
Yeah. Huskies.
And the reason why is because I really felt like Washington State just did not put together drives when they had to against Colorado. And I think that they're.
How interested do you think they were?
I think that they pretty much knew that they had to win that game.
No, they
To-
didn't
to
have
keep
to win
pace.
that game.
But still to stay undefeated in the conference.
Yeah, but all they got to do is beat Washington, and they win the North, and they go play for the conference championship.
Right.
So you never know what the mad scientist Leach is telling these boys up there, you know. So I'm going to go with Washington as well. I just think they're better. Utah at Colorado.
That should be another good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Utes snap back.
Utah.
I'm going to go with the pro kick Mitch Wiskowski.
Wiskowski, yeah. Another
Pro kick
pro
kicker.
kick protege.
Yep.
I'm going to go Colorado.
I'm going with
I
Colorado
think they
too.
can smell it.
I like it at home. The last college one is Michigan at Ohio State. I already know what you got.
Go blue.
Yeah, they say.
And you know what?
You know what I got.
Just a reminder. We made a bet,
Mm-hmm.
and I basically laid. I told Brett I would lay whatever. Do we have an amount?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so I'll bet you lunch. How about that? Okay. So I basically lay at Twin Peaks. I'll even spice it up a little bit. Whatever they were laying, I was going to lay to Brett. So the line is 6.5. Now I'm actually laying 6.5 for lunch at Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm. So I got a touchdown. I'm going in with the lead.
And either way, I'm having the Texas Philly because that's the best sandwich there.
It is very tasty.
It is good.
The pot
And those
roast
fries
is
are good
also
too.
pretty good.
Those fries are good
Yeah.
too.
And the beer is very cold. I'm going to have a beer.
And
I'll buy you a beer.
The staff is awesome.
Oh, so you're already conceding?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Hey, if we
Please
win by
shoot
one,
now.
if we win by one,
Let me just put
I'm
this order.
good. And by the way, I did buy a new shirt for this game, so I'm good to go.
Okay.
William, who do you have? You're breaking the tie here.
Okay. You know what? I'm going with Michigan.
Oh yes.
Based on my record, I wouldn't be really excited. about that.
Honestly, I hate
Might
to say
be
it. I
just
really
a
honestly think that Ohio State.
What is that? What is that smell? You stink.
I actually think that Ohio's at this point, the way that the teams are playing, I think that Ohio State's a better team. I'm hoping that the offense that showed up last week for Ohio State shows up against Michigan. Michigan has an opportunity to lock down the defense if they play well. Should be interesting.
I don't think it'll be very high scoring though.
I don't think so either, especially with O'Korn.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't really play well last week,
No.
and if they can shut down the run, it's going to be hard for Michigan to score points.
Yeah. And you know what's going to happen. Turnovers are going to be the whole key.
Always.
You know.
What's
field position.
the weather looking like?
I think it's supposed to be pretty nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Like
It's
high
supposed to be nice
40s.
So
Sunny.
No bizarre
No weird stuff.
snowstorms.
So we'll finish up with the pros here. NFL, we got Thanksgiving Day, Minnesota at Detroit for
Ooh.
I think, are they tied for the North lead?
I
No.
think Detroit's up a game.
Minnesota's 5-5. I think Detroit is
5-4.
5-4.
Okay, so they got
So they
haven't
can.
played. They haven't, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions.
Home team.
I'm taking the Lions too. I actually think that Detroit's in control of their destiny, and this is a game that could really just set it apart.
Kind of like the way Minnesota bounced back. I'm taking them.
By the way, did you see the guy get leveled?
Oh yeah.
Did you see it, Bill?
No.
Okay, so a guy came. He was just crossing with a fan or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just
He was-
as the Minnesota team was coming running out,
He was the guy that held
350-pound
the
lineman.
half moon thing,
Oh, my
the
God.
sound thing.
Really?
He
got lit
up.
Yeah, he fell hard.
Yeah,
I felt bad for
he
him.
had some battle scars too.
yeah.
He was
And that was.
he was hanging tough. I
Wow.
think he broke his glasses. He said he had
yeah.
get new glasses.
That was a big boy that hit
Yeah,
him. So.
it was no small.
God.
Lastly, big one in the AFC West, Kansas City at Denver.
I'm going to go with Denver. Yeah, Kansas City just really well, I'm glad the Bucks won, but they really disappointed me over the weekend. I expected them to really kind of lay it on the Bucks. And
Yeah,
I think that the shine may have come
Denver
off.
be
And going
coming
into
off a
Denver,
bye.
They're coming off a bye.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm taking Denver, because they got an extra week rest.
I'm gonna go with. I think KC bounced back.
Okay, so we got about a minute to go. We'll talk about the Henderson Hawks real quick. They go up to Findlay Prep, Henderson International
Yep.
School, win 100-79
Yep.
in their home opener. Very exciting to see this team coming together. Played very well.
Yep.
We had the photographer in action, so those pics will be up on our website, snsportsnews.com.
fantastic.
And the next home game, December 3rd, we really want to pack that place out. I guess they had about almost 300 people there.
Yeah, it was full. It was full. Yeah.
Excellent. Congratulations
so-
to the Hawks.
Yeah, they had a good crowd there, and it's good to see. HendersonHawks.com.
Henderson Hawks.
All right. Where can folks join us for social media, Jeff?
SNSportsNews.com. If you like our college basketball picks, SN Sports Report. I'm on fire right now. I hate to
Yes.
say it. 18 and
Get on it
7.
now.
And I'm telling you, that is not easy to do. You're
He's
18
on
and 25. That's 72%.
He's
Let's keep winning.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Listen, by all means, and to my colleagues, have a happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen.
sir.
Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving to you and your family. Stay safe. Join us next Monday on the 28th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from www.dbtv.com. Take
God
care.
bless.
go Bucks.